I have always dreamt of having my own train company. There is no manual for it. You can't do anything if you don't get started and just try things.
Welcome to The Big Question, the series from Euronews where we've delved deep into the biggest topics on the business agenda. In this episode, we're chatting to Elmer van Buuren, the co-founder of the European sleeper train company, to discuss building your dream business and if it's really possible to be an entrepreneur if you're not super rich. First of all, tell me a little bit about European Sleeper. What makes it different from other train companies?
European Sleeper is a company from the Netherlands that is doing sleeper trains. We have just launched our first service, which is Brussels, Amsterdam, Berlin in May. And I think the big difference between us and other train companies is that we're community owned.
So you're still quite a new company. So you kind of founded in 2020 and then you opened up for crowdfunding in 2021 for your seed capital. So how much did you need to get going and how long did it take for you to get that money?
The first 500,000 euros that we started with in 2021 we raised in 15 minutes, and that was really a great success because it also proved that people liked the idea.
How did that feel? Were you expecting that?
Not at all. We prepared everything and pressed the start button at some point at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I remember getting myself a cup of coffee thinking everything is ready now, and I came back to my computer and everything was gone. and that was really surprising because I thought that the platform was broken basically.
So why did you choose to start the business in this way? Were there any other discussions on financing it in any other way?
The main reason we started the company in this way is that we believe that it is important to involve the community, and we also needed a sort of flexible way to raise money. One of the added benefits that we have from doing it this way is that we have people involved now that have become owners of our company, but that also have a specific knowledge that can be very helpful in reaching our goals. And I think that this is really the main reason for doing it.
Yeah. Are there any disadvantages to it, do you think?
We thought that we'd get a long way with 500,000 euros. That was a bit, let's say, underestimation. So by now we have raised 4.5 million euros. I think the main thing is that if you want to run a train company, of course you need much more money than we have currently raised, especially if you're starting to get into the phase where you want to invest in the new trains. And this model is not going to help for that kind of investment. But that's, I think, natural when you want to run a train company. There's enormous investment involved.
So looking forward, what are the next steps and how are you going to finance it going forward?
Well, the next step that we will take, I think that is significant, is that we will extend the existing service Brussels, Amsterdam, Berlin to go onto Prague.
Yeah.
This will be from March already on sale, so I think it's really good. And one project that we are currently already working on is Amsterdam, Brussels, Barcelona service. That is bound to start in 2025. It's very ambitious, but it will definitely be a great success. It's also selected as a European Commission pilot project, so we're getting some support from that side as well.
Thinking about if you wanted to buy a brand new sleeper train with the kind of the average number of carriages, how much are we talking? How much would that cost?
That's a good question. Train is about 400 meters long, so you need about 14 carriages. If you want to run the train daily, it means you need 2 of those train sets. Okay. You need to have some spare carriages as well, so you end up buying about 35 carriages. I think one carriage costs anything between, let's say, 2.5 and 3 million euros. So that is a significant investment, and then you don't have an engine yet.
Yes, okay. So yeah, if you need 35 carriages and some 2 engines as well.
For one service to run daily, you are talking about between 70 and 100 million euros.
So then in this whole process of building European Sleeper, what mistakes have you made and what have you learned?
If you run yourself into perfectionism, you don't end up anywhere. Yes, maybe there are things that we could have done better, but I wouldn't call it wrong. I think we would have needed to scale up the amount of money that we raise more quickly. And I think that we have underestimated how tough it is to find your place and to get your place in the environment of all the big companies.
Yes.
On the one hand, we're quite successful in it, and on the other hand, it's still tough. But it's not necessarily something we did wrong. I think it comes with being a startup company, a new entrant company, private company in this kind of environment. There is no manual for it.
Did you always feel like you had an entrepreneurial streak? Did you ever, you said you had this dream for a long time. Did you ever think you would actually do it?
I have always dreamt of having my own train company, so this idea has been boiling inside for 25 years, and it's been difficult to decide to become an entrepreneur. One of the most important things that I have learned, I think, in the process is don't take too much advice from other people, because they will try to keep you from doing it and they don't want you to fail and to just go for it.
So ironically, I am actually going to ask you for some advice. I know you said don't take too much advice, but thinking about someone who maybe has a dream of building a business that is a very expensive business to get into, and it's not something that they can just do with their personal capital. What advice do you have for them?
I think the main advice that I would have is that there is money available. You just need to tap into it, really. And I think the most important thing is make sure your idea is really clear, and that it really doesn't work if it remains a PowerPoint presentation. So you need to demonstrate that it works. You need to take it step by step and grow.
And so looking to the future, where do you see European Sleeper in 10 years' time?
Well, in 10 years' time, I expect that we will have been able to launch a few more services. So our ambition was to launch a new train service every year, but it turns out to be very ambitious to do this. We're hoping to launch the first new service in 2025 from Amsterdam to Barcelona. And then let's say if we manage to start up a new service each year from then on, that will have us operate a small network in 10 years' time.
Brilliant. I mean, if you start a new line every year, in 10 years' time it won't be a small network. It'll be pretty extensive, and that would be amazing.
Yeah. On the other hand, looking at the European map, I think there's so many lines that we could still start. That I think one line per year is really ambitious on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's not enough at all. So that's what I'm thinking about. How can I speed it up even more?
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, good luck. I look forward to taking some of your sleeper trains across Europe. And thank you very much for talking to us today on The Big Question.